Hello and how are you? My name is Mahindo Mbarak and I welcome you to our 7th lecture of creating a complete inventory management system. We are going to resume from where we stopped at in the previous lecture. As you know, today we are going to do 40 minutes, so I'll start our timer and then to start counting. All right, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to open our project and we start doing the work. Okay, so I'll go to my Visual Studio Code. Here's my Visual Studio Code and the project is already there loaded. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it. So I'll open my terminal and then run php artisan serve. Then when I run php artisan serve, I can press on this so it can take me to that project. So there it is. All right, so I'm going to open, this is the administrator's dashboard. So I'm going to open another another browser, the one that we're going to use to log in as a company owner, so he can be able to manage their systems. So to do that, I'll go ahead and open this Google Chrome. Here it is, and then I go to the IP. So here we are. So in this browser, I'm logged in as a company owner, whereas in this browser, I'm logged in as a super admin or the system owner. So yesterday, if you still remember in the previous lecture, we stopped at the point of creating a stock item. So let me open our PDF, the one that we can use for referencing, so that we should know exactly what we are doing. So I'll come to our PDF. It is here. So at this moment, we are on this stock item. Okay, this is where we are. All right, so let's go ahead and create a stock item. So yesterday, the previous lecture, we created this migration, this very last migration under migrations. And in this migration did we create a migration of stock item? Let me go to our important commands. I think we did not create a migration of stock item. We just stopped at at the financial periods. So let us go ahead and create our stock item our stock item migration as well as the model. So to do that, I'll just simply come to our important commands, where I save my important commands, and create my command for stock item. Okay, and then I put dash migration, so it should also create for me the migration. Okay, I'm going to open my terminal and then I create another new terminal so I can have two terminals. This first one is running the project, this second one is where I'll be running my commands. So I'm going to copy this command and then go ahead and paste it here and press enter. So you can see the migration, the model has been created at the same time the migration has been created. So I'll go to the migration by pressing Ctrl and click on it, and then it will take me to the migration. So this is the migration of stock items. All right, so let us go ahead and start adding the other information. So the first thing that we shall need is the company. Which company has created this stock? Okay, so we shall need the company. So we shall go ahead and say table, and then say foreign ID 4, and then I put company. Company, then class, and I make sure that it is imported there. So that's the first thing that we have to put there. So we can also put the person who created it. So you can say user ID, and then you can put here maybe if you want to specify, and then you say created by ID, something like that, created by ID. So you can be able to know the person who created this stock item. All right, Another thing, this stock item must belong to a what? To a category, okay? To stock category. So remember, we have here two categories. You have a main parent category and then a what? And then a stock category. So I'm going to put both of them because it will make it simpler for us to filter, okay? So I'm going to this stock should have category, stock category class, so it is another foreign ID, and then also stock subcategory class, because its stock must belong to what? To a certain subcategory. So put stock subcategory class, so, and make sure that they are also imported here. All right, so after doing that, the next thing, this stock item or this stock particular record, it must belong to a financial year. We should be able to know in which financial period did we purchase this stock. So I'll go ahead and put also here financial what? Financial period. We called it financial period because others can use months, others can use years, and make sure it is also imported here. So that is very important. So okay, we have seen that. All right, so okay, I think that is okay. Now after doing that, now the next thing, okay, in stock item, the next thing that we're going to put, now you're going to put the item name. So you're going to put the name, so it's going to be text, and then you put the what? The name. It should be required. Also, another thing that we're going to put, its description. It can be null, and then we're going to put the what? Its main photo. Its main photo. This is the main photo, and then this stock can have like many images. Okay, so we can put also its barcode. Okay, barcode photo, barcode. Okay, and then we have something called SKU, or you can call it a batch number. So SKU is a batch number, or the number that we use to identify what? Stock keeping unit. They call it a stock keeping unit, that you can use to identify a stock item. Okay, so we can go ahead here and then say SKU, we add it there because this is the information that we shall create and put in the what? In the barcode. Okay, so after SKU, another thing that we shall put here, the brand. I don't know whether we need that. Maybe we shall need it. All right, let's put the brand. Okay, and also maybe the model, the color, these. Okay, these others, the size, the weight unit, and then the length. No, that's too much. Okay, I think this is enough. And then one more thing that we shall need here, maybe since this information is optional, so we can say maybe we can give a user to maybe add advanced information. Okay, so you say add, you can say maybe here you can put here a string, and then you say more info. So this one, it will be like an optional if the company, they want to add more information. Okay, more information. So that's when if they say yes, then we can go ahead and give them the place where they can put the length and the width and all those things, and the height, in case they say they want to measure they want to add more information. I don't know that this is not too much. We need to record the color. Maybe this one can come in the description. All right, okay, let's just keep it simple. Let's this one come in the what? In the description. All right, let's that come in the description. Someone can put that information in the what? In the description of that stock. Let's keep it simple. All right, so here we'll put the model. The model is also optional. So here we will need an SKU, and then the barcode. Okay, so we can put here maybe generate SKU. So, and then let us make this one to be a string. So so this one will let the system to ask the stock person, to ask the person to either generate the SKU by the system or not. So I can say here I can put maybe default. Okay, let's just leave it there and make it nullable. So here it will I will ask the user to either to allow the system to generate the SKU, or they should put the SKU from the from external SKU, or that they call batch number. All right, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to add what else? I think that's enough information to record about the stock. Maybe you can also put maybe gallery, the stock gallery, where they can put maybe the images. Okay, so I can put here string and then put here gallery. So this is maybe like more images about of that stock, of that particular item. I think that is enough and that is okay. All right, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to go ahead and add now the quantities. Okay, we're going to put now the quantity. Okay, so we're going to put here the buying price. Okay, buying price. So I make it a decimal, or can put here maybe big integer, and then you put buying price and remove these ones. Okay, so by default should be 0 buying price. Okay, and then you also put the the selling price, and by default they are 0 0. All right, so then we go ahead and put initial quantity, not big increments, big integer like this, not big increments. All right, so the next thing that we're going to put original quantity, okay, original quantity, and then also going to put here current quantity. Okay, I think that is okay. All right, so what else do we need? I think that is enough. Minimum quantity, of course, to be 0. That one don't need it. All right, I think this information is enough. We can perfect this, then it will be enough. Okay, this can be enough. Okay, this can be enough, unless otherwise. I think this is enough. This is enough for us to do what? To mark the stock. So maybe we can put here generate SKU. So this is when you ask the system to do what? To generate the SKU. Okay, so when the SKU is generated, this one will be generated again. Okay, I think that's enough. I think that is enough. It's supposed to be generate, not generic. So he'll ask the user whether they want the SKU to be generated by the computer or they should enter it by themselves. So maybe you can put also maybe update SKU. I think that's enough, right? All right, so I think this is enough. Oh no, we are doing as we are thinking. Okay, I think this is enough. In case there's anything that we have missed, we shall come back for it and add it. But for now, I think this is enough. We have the prices, we have the quantities. That's enough, I think. All right, with that much said, let's go ahead and do migration. So we'll clear the screen and do PHP artisan migrate. So it has migrated this table successfully. So after doing that, then we're going to go to our model of stock items. These are controllers. Model stock item is here. So in this model of stock item, we are now going to create a what? Our controller for the stock item. So to do that, we shall just come to what? We shall come to important commands and then come here to employees. Remove this one. Then say maybe stock item controller, and then we change the model to be the stock item. Let's run this one, and then we come up with our what? With our controller. I run it. Okay, I'll go ahead and copy this. I'll go ahead and copy this, and then come to our routes, and then in this route you're going to paste there and put stock items. Okay, all right. So after doing that, now we should be able to come to our system and add these stock items from the menu. So let's add it to the menu. So we shall come here to the administrator's dashboard. Where is SuperAdmin dashboard? It is on the Brave browser. It is here. SuperAdmin dashboard. Then you shall come to a menu, and then on this menu you're going to go ahead and put stock items. Okay, so these are the products. Others call them products, something like that. By the way, you can call them products as well. It is okay. Okay, let's call them products. Okay, let's call them stock items. All right, so then after you put here the URI, and then you say this one will be accessible by company owners and also the company workers. Okay, and then you submit. So our stock item is here. We can put it here under the dashboard. Okay, and save. Now let's go to the dashboard of the administrator, of the company admin. Okay, so I come here to the dashboard of the company administrator and refresh. Okay, we come here to the dashboard of the company administrator and refresh. Now you see the company administrator should be able to access now the stock items table, which is here. All right, so we are going to begin with the form. Now there is a lot of things that we're going to do here, so let's get ready. Let's just do it. Okay, so we come here to the stock items. Okay, to the stock items, and then we come to what? To new. Okay, here to new. So here I'm going to come here to new, and then we fix this table. Okay, but once we fix this table, then we shall have made a very great progress. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, we are here now. All right, so come here to our stock controller, stock item controller, and then we come here and maybe change this title to stock items, and then come to to here. Okay, so the first thing is the company ID. So I can say maybe user equals to admin user. Okay, so after I'm going to go ahead and hide this and make this company ID to be default by the person who is logged in. Okay, company. All right, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to add person who created this record. Of course, the person who created this record is the person who is logged in. So there is but sometimes it can be edited by another person. Okay, so let us check if this form is being created or not, or it is being edited. So there is a method called is creating. Okay, so this is creating method. You see, you say if, and then you say form, and then you say is creating, and then you call it on the form. It will tell if it is creating or if someone is editing. So if I come here and refresh, you'll see that it is able to tell that okay, at this time it is creating. So you can use this method to check if someone is creating or if someone is editing. So here I'm saying that if this form is being created, then the created by should be by the person who is logged in. So if you're maybe editing it, we shall not make this default. Okay, and also the person who is creating this form, who is creating this product or this stock item, we hide it so that it should not manipulate the system. Okay, that is created by ID. That is done. Okay, the next thing here is the stock category. So the stock categories can be too many sometimes, so we may need to use Ajax. Okay, we may need to use Ajax. So Ajax is the way of how you can fetch these stock items asynchronously. Okay, but for now let's okay, I think we should just do it right now so that I show you how you can fetch items asynchronously, okay, using Ajax, because the categories may be too many. All right, let's assume that the categories not be too many, but we shall do it when you're going to do what? When you're going to do the stock records, because the products can be like 1,000. So putting 1,000 products in that drop down, it can become too much, okay? So we are going to create a method that is going to be getting the stock category and the stock subcategory. So this stock category, this one will be automatically generated, okay? Or we can just do like okay, you get the stock categories and also fetch the subcategory. That is also possible. However, it can be a little bit interesting. All right, let's do it. Like we first select the stock category and then we give you the list of categories that are under that stock category. All right, let's do it. So Laravel admin, it has what we call cascading select. So this cascading select it will help us someone to first select an item, and then after they do what? They select a product. Okay, so when you come here under forms, under fields, then you'll see cascade select, this one. Okay, this cascade select. So you first begin by creating an item that you want to select from all the options, okay? And then after selecting, then you say load, and then you select from others, okay? So before we do that, let me show you how we can do what we can do Ajax, okay? This is how we do Ajax, okay? So you organize items and put them in in external file, okay, in an API, and then in that API you produce something of this. Let me show you. Of this format, okay. All right, so let me show you what we mean here. All right, so we come here, so let's refresh. This is what we have now. So we want here store category should be loaded asynchronously because the categories can be too many. So what we're going to do, we're going to put here select. You just write like a normal select, and then you put here category. Okay, so instead of putting options, you put what you call like this. You just put Ajax. Okay, Ajax, and then you specify where you're going to fetch these categories. Now these categories should be in a what? In an external it's going to be an API response. Okay, so if you come here and refresh, now you see here that I'll be able to type in something here, but you see when I try to type in, it is trying to load this product asynchronously, but it is not happening. Okay, So I'm going to show you how you can load these categories asynchronously. So what you're going to do here, you're going to create an API endpoint, that is going to be fetching these stock categories. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So how do you create an API? You create an API in Laravel by just simply coming here, coming to your files, and then come to what? And then come to routes, and then click on API. So in here, it is where we're going to put our API information. Okay, so I'm going to create an endpoint of a place where I'll be fetching our stock categories. Alright, so I'm going to just simply come here and say, so I'm going to create here a route so just simply come here, a route for store categories. So let me show you. So again, just simply say route and then say get, and then you put here the name of the route here. So inside here, we're going to put a function that is going to be fetching the store categories and return them. Okay, so I'll just simply come here and open bracket and write function, and then open bracket and open curly bracket here, and then I can put here, for example, die. Okay, so and then put here maybe die and say testing. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now. All right, so this is how you create an API. So we are in this file of API, and then we are here creating a route. So this route is a get route, and it's going to be returning back the categories by searching. Okay, so now to access this route, we can access it since it is in an API file. We can access this route by just simply coming to our project. Okay, the name of our project, let me just our project, which is on this endpoint 1 2, and then I'm going to put, so if you put here the main point, it will give you this main store category. But if you want to access now the store categories, you're going to put API store categories. So you see we are able to access the word test. I think we are together there. All right, so now to return data to this, side, okay, or to this side where of the form, the data in Ajax way or in a synchronous way, the data must be in a certain format. Okay, they say it should be in form of data, and then we have an ID and text, where ID is the name of the category, is the ID, the unique identification, and then of that item, and then the text, the what is the. So I hope you're getting it. Okay, so now here we're going to go ahead and get store categories. Okay, store categories. So if you want to get store categories, what you're going to do, we're going to since you're going to deal with subcategories, let me just put stock subcategories because we are not going to load again and load another thing. So let's use just stock subcategories. That's going to be our endpoint. Okay, all right, so I hope you are getting, I hope you're not lost yet. So this is the endpoint where we shall be sending back the stock subcategories. All right, for example, now they say here, let me show you here. In this documentation, they say that they will be sending you a queue. A queue is the keyword that they'll be sending you when they are searching something. Okay, when you are searching something. So if you want to get what someone is searching, you'll just simply say queue equals to, then you can put here maybe request here like this, equals 2, and then you can get the Q. So if I come here and echo and say searching, and just say maybe searching Q, you see. So if I come here in our get and I refresh, so the Q is not there. All right, let me put here what you call request. All right, I cannot even get like, okay, I can put, you have to put here what you call request. It has to be like this, I have to put here request first, like this. So you'll see that searching for empty. So if I come here in our URL and I put question mark and I say Q equals to T, you see, searching for T. So if I say maybe some blah blah, you see, searching for blah blah blah, something like that. So this is what will be sending to us. Well, that will be sent to us when you're searching something. So you have to search and then return back. Okay. So we're going to search in subcategories. Okay. So we're going to say subcategories equals to, and then you say subcategory, and then you import it, and you say where, then you put name, you put comma, and then you say like, you put comma, and then you put open curly bracket, and then put percentage, and then Q in the middle, and then percentage, and then remember these are these are double bracket, I mean double quotes. Okay, so double quotes. So this one is going to search, and then you say get. So the task of this is going to search anything that is having the word Q in it in our list of of subcategories. So if we come here and say DD, we shall be able to know that there is nothing that has Q, I mean that has this information. So if I remove, you'll see that we are getting subcategories. Okay, we're getting subcategories, they're here. Okay, I hope you can see that. So another thing, there is a challenge here. There's a challenge here is that since this one is not checking someone who is logged in, it means that we shall not be able to know someone who has really sent the request. So it might end up sending the categories of a company that don't belong to us. Okay, that don't belong to someone who is logged in. So you have to get here also company ID. So if you don't send the company ID, then we check if the company ID is if company ID is equal to null, okay, then we should go ahead and return just an empty thing. Okay, we return an empty, let's return an empty response. Okay, you can say maybe company ID is required. Okay, so if you don't send back, this is how you return a JSON response. Say response and then JSON, and then say company ID is required. Okay, or you can just simply put here data, and you return an empty. So if you don't send back the company ID, will give you what? An empty data. So it means that you'll have to, when you'll be sending the request, we'll be sending the queue, and then you put and then company ID. Then you can send also the company ID, maybe like 1. So that's when you shall be able to fetch for the record. So it means that now here, when we are fetching, we have also to include the condition that it should fetch also with the company ID. Okay, so I'll put here where. So we put our first where. So the first where is the company ID, and then we get where, and then the second where is now the search itself. So this one will help not to fetch the data of things that don't belong to that particular company. So you'll have to send to us the company ID, otherwise we shall not send you any data. You get it, eh? So if I come here now, I try to search, let me search nothing. Now I can see at least we are having some data there. So let me put a wrong company ID. I'd put this company ID. See, when I put a wrong company ID, it means that company is not there. I'm getting back nothing. Okay, so I hope you can see. So this data must be organized So you can put here now, maybe you can, before we get this, you can put maybe order by what? Order by name in ascending order, and then we get here. So we can also limit, okay, because it can return so many, and then we get those ones. We can say maybe it should limit maybe to 20 records, okay? So 20 records like this. I hope we are together. So after doing like this, the next thing that we're going to do, we are going now to loop through this and then create the data in the format that Laravel admin recognizes. Okay, so we are going to just simply say our data equals to empty, and then we're going to loop through these ones. Okay, and then you go ahead and say for each, we say for each these categories, as this one, and then we keep on adding in the data. Let me so we are looping through these categories that have been found, and then say maybe as a subcategory, and then we fetch the data. So the data, we say we add in this data, what? In this data array, this one, we say this is how you add something. You open square bracket and do like this, and then say equals to, and then you open the square bracket, then we put here ID, and then put the value of ID, and then you put the name, and then put the value of the name. So this is the response that Laravel admin does what? Does recognize. Alright, so after doing that, now we are having our data. So if I come here and just dump the data, you should be able to see. Okay, if I come here and dump the data, you should be able to see that I'm having the data that is required. Okay, you see, in that format. Alright, hope you are together. So after doing that, now Laravel admin, we have to send back now the response, I mean the information. Okay, so send back the information is going to be response, and then you say response, and then open bracket and say it is JSON response, and then you open bracket, and then you put open you open square bracket inside, and then you say data, and then put this, and then says go to data one. So by doing like this means that it's going to get this data and keep in this array, and then we shall end up, let me try to come and search here. You see, we shall end up with a format that Laravel admin recognizes. Can you see? Curl bracket data equals to an array of JSON which is having ID and the name, and then the ID and the name, something like this. Okay, so however, we are still having a challenge. The challenge is that how should I say it? The challenge is that here we're having, you see, we're having just, let me just dump here this data so you can understand here. Let me just come here and say echo print r, and then say print r, and I dump this data so you can see it properly. So let me come here and refresh. You see, we are having our data which is having an array and the value, but the challenge is here that this name, for example, fruits can be frozen fruits, and then can also be maybe in a category of fresh fruit. Okay, so I mean fresh fruits. So here it is hard to know what the real parent category of this one. So what you're going to do, we're going to override when you're getting the name. We should be able to do what? To attach there the parent name, something like that. Okay, so to do that, it means that we're going to come here to subcategory model, this one, and then you're going to override the function that gets the what? That gets the name. So first of all, let us create the relationship between the the subcategory, I mean the stock category and the stock subcategory. So in subcategory here. So you're going to put here, if you understand Laravel, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to put here public, and then you say public function, and then you say subcategory, and then you come here and say belongs to, then you put here subcategory. By doing like this, it will be able to relate the subcategory of, I mean the category of this of this subcategory. Okay, so if you have watched the videos of Laravel admin, you know what I'm talking about. I mean of Laravel itself, you know what I'm talking about. So it means that on each yeah, our time is up, but let me first finish this. So it means that on each stock item, this thing can make noise, my friend. Where is it? I hate it. Alright, I think I should set another time that I should not repeat that alarm. Okay, so I want to finish this explanation so we can go. So it means that here, when you're fetching when you're fetching a subcategory, you see, this is a subcategory. Okay, you can even access its parent. Let me come here to subcategory. You can access its parent category by just simply adding this subcategory like this. So if you do like this, you'll see you're able to get the parent category of that subcategory. So that is how you make relationship. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come to a subcategory. Now I'm going to show you something. So you see here we're having its names. So I'm going to override the name function. So when someone is collecting the name, I'm going to override it and just send back another name. I mean the name with the subcategory. Or we can do what you call the appending. Okay, let's do the appending. So I'm going to append maybe name underscore text. Okay, so appending, it means that okay, so let us first go ahead and do what you call appends. I mean protected, and then you put here appends, and then you can put here maybe name text. So name text is going to be the name of the the custom name, okay? So, and after, I'm going to write the getter for name text. All right, so this is how you write the getter. You say public function get, and then you write in capital letter name, and then the next English word you put in what? In capital letter text, and then say attribute. By doing like this, it is going to add this name text in our what? In our data of stock subcategory. So I mean that if I come here, instead of putting name, I can put just name text. So if I come here and refresh, you'll see it is just the same. Okay, so let me come back here now. So how do you get this name text? We get name text, this one, after putting it in append, we get it from here. This is how you get it. So I mean that here you can write anything that you want to work as what? As a name text or something like that. It can override it, you see. We're able to add there those words. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to check, so I can say maybe name text equals to this dot name. After, so this the name text. Then I'm going to check if this category is not null, because sometimes it can be deleted. Okay, so I'm going to check if this category is not null. I go ahead and say name text is equal to the category name, and then I put the dash here. Or maybe I can begin with name of the category, this one here, and then I put dot, and then I attach there the what? You can use brackets, then I attach there the what? The name of the parent category. Okay, I can put a dash, and then I put the what? The name of the parent category. So you can tell, okay, you're looking at fruits, and I mean you're looking at fruits, and you're talking about the fruits under this particular subcategory. So if it is not null, and then here at the end, I go ahead and return what? And return now the name text. Okay, so by doing like this, it will be able to customize every time you call these subcategories and attach their what? Their parent categories. So this one will help on confusion. So you see, fruits dash fresh produce, ice cream under frozen foods, vegetables under fresh produce. That is beautiful. So I hope you've understood this. You can pause the video and look at it very carefully, because this technique, you're going to use it so much. Okay, so after doing that, now let's come back to our API and remove this pre-tag and then return the data. So to return the data, you just simply say return response to JSON and open this, and then you say, like I already explained this one. Okay, and then now we shall have something like this. Okay, something like this. Now let's go ahead and now add this into our subcategory controller. Let's go ahead and add now the Ajax. Okay, so we'll come here to our subcategory controller. What is it? Stock item controller. Is here. So let's get the maybe subcategory link, subcategory link, or can say maybe subcategory Ajax URL is equal to. So if you want to get the URL of your project, just write the URL and then you put here API stroke this. So that's how I can generate the URL that you're sure. So let me go ahead and check if this URL is correct. So I'll just dd there, and then I come here to our categories and try to refresh. This is the URL that has been generated. So you can first test it by opening it and see if it will give you the same results. Of course, it is giving the results. So now it's going to be our task to attach there the company ID. Okay, we have to attach there the company ID. So I can come here and I put here after let's attach there the company ID. So to attach the company ID, is going to be the URL equals to the URL dot question mark and then say company ID, and then you attach there the logged in user ID. So by doing like this, you shall be able to get the URL that has the ID of the person who is logged in. So you must put the question mark, so this one can be identified as a get method. Okay, so after doing that, now the next thing that you're now going to do, you're now going to go ahead and remove. So you say select, and then you say stock. So we are working with stock subcategory. This stock category, we shall do it in background. Okay, so we're going to put here stock subcategory. Let me remove this one and then put here maybe stock subcategory. Okay, or can say maybe stock category. Okay, so instead of putting here and then we say Ajax. Okay, and then say Ajax, and then you pass here the subcategory URL. Okay, you pass the subcategory URL. Okay, so let's refresh and see if it is okay. So beautiful, you see, when I type A, it loads this data from the other side. So what does it mean? It means that even if I have like 1,000 records of categories, it will not overwhelm our computer, because they are coming from what? From the external URL. Okay, they are coming from the external URL. So that's how you create Ajax. Or that's how you load things asynchronously. Make sure that you understand this, because it is very important and a very powerful technique that you need. Okay, and we're going to use it in the next things that we shall be using. So you have a right to pause the video and go back and see carefully how I've been able to achieve this. Okay, I hope you can see that I can now be able to do what? To type here, for example, I say A, it brings here. So I can just simply say ice cream, and you see these things are being loaded from the other side of the API. All right, that's it for now. Let's start the next lecture right now without the resting. I believe you still have energy, because me, I still have. All right, so that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do it. Let's start the next lecture. Have I been recording? Yes, I've been recording. All right, we'll start the next lecture straight away. Let me see if the YouTube is working. It is working. Okay. All right. Hello, and how are you? My name is Mohindo Mubarak, and I welcome you to our 8th lecture of creating a complete inventory management system. You still remember in a previous lecture, we were able to create Ajax, and we're also able to design our model of what? Of stock items. So in this lecture, we're going to proceed from where I stopped at and go to other higher things. Without wasting much time, let's go ahead and start our timer. We're going to do 40 minutes, and then after 40 minutes, we shall call it a day. All right, so this is where we are in the previous lecture. So we're able to load items. So, and it is, we even implemented that it will even load only the item for your company. So I've already implemented that. So I proceed to the next thing, financial period. This one will be generated also. Okay, let's put a condition here. So we're going to get the active financial year. So let's create a class where we shall be putting the common functions. Okay, so let us go ahead and create here some class that we shall be putting common functions, common functions, utilities. Okay, so let me come here and create that class. So I'll come here to important commands. I'm going to create a class called utils. It will not have a migration, it will just be a class. So remove the M. Okay, it's just going to be a common model. I'll be putting there my utilities, okay, a common thing that I need that I'll keep on reusing. Okay, so I create that class, tap. So this is our class called utils. All right. Okay, so this is a class called utils. I can even not extend the model. Okay, you just make it like this one, and I remove this as factory. So in this class, I'm going to put my common functions that I'll be using. Okay, so the thing that I want to be using. So for example, I want to get the active year, the active financial period of what? Of a certain company. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to write a function. So if you want to create a function that you can access without creating a class, that's what we call a static function. So you can just simply say static. Okay, so static function, and then you say get, okay, active financial period. So you can see Copilot has helped me to create this logic. So let me say period, and then let me, since it is static, so it will not know the person who is logged in, let me accept here company ID. So you have to send us your company ID. Okay, so this function is going to be responsible for getting a static financial period. Okay, so it will go ahead and say financial period equals to, and then say financial period where, so this is a model of financial period where company ID, then comma, it passes the company, and then where, and it also attaches another and, status equals to active, and then say get the first. So this one will be able to get what? Our first. And then this just return even without checking. Okay, just return this. Say return. So this one, if it is not there, it will give us what? It will give us null. Okay, so this, it will help us to get the active financial period. So let me come here back. So that is utils, under utils. So let me come back to our control of stock item. So on top of this form, before you even create a record, we're going to check if you have a active financial period. If you're not there, if you don't have it, then we shall just send you back and not allow you to proceed. Okay, so let's go ahead, and so on top here, on very top, I can say financial period equals to, and then I say utils. So make sure that you write this utils, and then make sure that is imported, and then you say utils, and then you put these two colons, and then say get financial period, the frame method that we just created, and then here we pass the company ID, or the person who is logged in. We pass their ID, okay, like this. So this one will get for us a financial period. So let me dd here and see. So this function, when we want to get a financial period, we shall just be active financial period, we shall just be calling that one. You see, it gets for us the active financial period. So I check if it is null, I redirect back, or I can say maybe what you call return, what you call admin error, yes, admin error, and then you say admin underscore error is a Laravel admin thing, and then say maybe please create a financial record first. Okay, something like that. So we shall not allow someone. So let's come and refresh. So the financial record is not null. Let's go and do the false, and we see. So it will be like this: please create a financial period first. Okay, so maybe create a financial period first. So this one will trigger a person that, okay, you cannot proceed if you don't have a financial period. So I'll check if financial period is not there, please create it. So that will be like a blocker that you cannot proceed if you don't have an active financial period. All right, so that's it. So in this financial period, we can make it hidden. Whoever are going to write this logic from the other creating, and then it will be generated from the other side. So you can make it here. Okay, let us remove it. We're going to do the on creating, okay, and then to handle that stuff. So that is it. Then after, so what does it mean? It means that we'll begin by setting the category of the product, okay, and then here we're going to put the name here. So we're going to put here to call name, okay, it's going to be a text, and then make it what? Make it rules, and make it required. So that is the name. The description. Now we're going to also look at another thing here. Sometimes you see our description is going to be a text area, of course, text area, okay, but the challenge is you cannot be able to bold, you cannot be able to highlight, you cannot be able to underline. Let's say that you want to create a complete thing that explains something properly, then it means that here will be limited. Okay, so there is another extension that we're going to see how we can add that will give us ability to create a text area where you can bold, where you can put tables, where you can put images, where you can express yourself much more better. Okay, so let's go ahead and install that extension. Do we need it? I don't think we need it now. HTML extension is called Quill extension. For now, let's leave it. Let's just focus on the product. Okay, let's leave it, but it's called Quill Laravel admin extension. For now, I don't see where it's going to help us, so let's leave it for now. All right, so let's say that a person will just write there the plain text. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the description, the image. So it's going to be image. You have already looked at this one. and then maybe you can say maybe unique name, something like this, unique name. Okay, so that will be for the photo. Okay, so you can make it optional. I think that's it. Let's the description come last. Okay, like this. So the barcode will be generated by the system. We're going to also see how you can generate the barcode. Okay, I'll show you how you can generate the barcode in the next lecture. For now, let's leave it. And okay, the barcode, I'll show you how you can generate it. Then here, the SKU, that we can leave it as a text. So let me put here barcode. I'm going to show you I can generate the barcode. So we shall also learn how to generate the barcode, okay, in the next lecture. So text, SKU. All right, so we can ask the person, we can ask the user. So we can ask the user whether they want to generate this SKU or the system should generate for them. Okay, something like that. So to do that, we just simply come here and say select okay, this maybe radio. Okay, and then you put generate SKU, then you put here our options can be manual and automatic. So if they say manual, we let them enter it. If they say automatic, we shall use the system to generate it. Manual, SKU, or automatic. So if you say auto, we shall generate it by the system. Okay, so if you say automatic, it means that this is a batch number, okay, that you're going to enter it by yourself. Okay, so you put here, now you go ahead and write here when, so it's also another Laravel admin thing. Then you say when it is manual, then you should allow the person to enter there the SKU. Okay, where is SKU field anyway? Okay, the SKU. So when it is manual, so this you just simply open here and say when, and then open these brackets, and then you say the first parameter pass manual, and then write function, and then you say open here, and then say form, and then open curly bracket, and then you say you do like this. So you say if it is manual, then you should allow him to enter it. Okay, then you say enter SKU. Okay, or others call this maybe batch number. Okay, so this batch number is the one that we shall encode and put what stroke batch number. Okay, it shall encode and put in the system, I mean in the barcode. Okay, so if you come here and refresh, you'll see that you have achieved this. So when it is auto, when you say manual, you see, when you say manual, we automatically show this field. Okay, enter SKU stroke batch number. Or if you say auto, then the system will do what? Will generate it. That is good. Then also let me make this one also to be what? To be required. So some products, they come with their own what? With their own SKU. Others, if you don't have the SKU, you can make the system generate it. Okay, make it required. All right, so this one we can use it on creating. Okay, when you're updating, we can ask if you want us to update the what? The SKU. Okay, so let's make this one available when someone is updating. So if I want to check if someone's updating, I just simply say if is creating. Okay, so if is not, so put here is not. If it's not creating, okay, then we can show him this option that, okay, do you want to update the SKU, something like that. All right, let's put here radio, and then put here update SKU, and then put here update SKU, sort batch number. Okay, and then if you say yes, then you say manual, or so we do the same thing here. So this thing is going to be the else part. So this, the first thing, we shall only show it when he's creating. So I put here else. So when he's creating, that's when you shall show this. When he's not creating, then you shall ask him this question of, are you updating? And then you say yes, then we put the when inside there. And then this when is just going to cover whatever I demonstrated here. Okay. So update SKU. We put here yes and no, and then open close curly bracket, and then close it here. Right, let me explain it properly. So I can put here if is there's another one called is editing. If he's editing, then I'll ask him, do you want to update SKU? And then I put here options of what, you see, of yes and no. Okay, okay. So if you say yes, okay, so I put here when yes, okay, I'll go ahead. When you say yes, I'll go ahead and get what I have here. Then I ask him, do you want him to generate automatically? It should come from the system. So you go ahead and, or you can even just ask him to enter the SKU, the manual one, because let's just, if you say update, then you should enter the new SKU here. All right, though SKUs, I'm asking this one because it's not going to be a common thing. So SKU is not normally updated. So when you say update SKU, when you say yes, then you say enter the SKU. All right, I think that is okay. So you can pause and look at that and then make sure you understand it. All right, so of course this form is the heart of the whole system, so you have to do it very carefully. So if you say that update SKU will only show when we are in editing mode. All right, so that one is done. The next thing that we're going to do, the gallery. Okay, so sometimes we need to attach multiple photos on a what, on a product. Okay, we want to attach multiple photos. So if we want to attach multiple photos, let's come here and then come here to the form, and then say come here to image upload, and search for what we call multiple picture upload. Okay, so you just simply put this what we call multiple image. Okay, so here I just put multiple image. So you can put here maybe item gallery. Okay, and then say multiple image. Okay, they should be removable and they should be unique with unique names. All right, so after doing that, now there's one more thing that you have to do in your model. Okay, in your model you have to use the setter and getter. Okay, so that when you're creating the pictures, they should encode in JSON, and then when you're getting them, they should decode in what, from JSON to the normal one. So if you don't put this one in your these functions in your model, then it will not work. So let's go in our model. So our model is where stock item. So you can just simply come here on top here and click on it. This is our model. I click on it. All right, there we are. So I'm going to come here and put Copilot, say getter for gallery. so it will just do it for me. It will just do it for me, but you can pause the video and see how I've done it. Okay, get gallery. Okay, and make sure that you're using the same spelling. The first keyword should be in capital. Okay, and then the word attributes like this, and then you say if it's not null and the SL string is maybe more than 4 characters or more than 3, yes, more than 3 characters, and then you say JSON decode. Okay, and then you decode the value and return, so that it will be the getter. And then you come here and do also the setter for gallery. So you need a copilot if you want to get this kind of beautiful suggestions. And then you put here, then say attributes gallery equals to JSON encode, just like the way it is here. Okay, so that is how you have to do it if you want to add there the gallery. So pause the video and see how I've done it. So this is how you want to make multiple files. It cannot be the word gallery maybe all the time. You can even use a different word. So this one will enable us to attach multiple photos, and then you attach like this. Multiple photos, multiple files. You can come here and add more things. Say maybe it should be removable. You can add it's unique. It should be downloadable. Downloadable, something like this. Yep, so you can add those things. So if I come here and refresh, you'll see that we shall be able to attach more than 1 photos. Okay, you see, I can attach more than 1 photo here. I can even remove one, something like that. All right. You pay if it has refused to work on the student account. You should pay. It's just $10. All right, so that is it. So I hope we are together. So we proceed. Buying price, it is going to be required. So we're going to put here rules. It's going to be it's going to be what? It's going to be decimal, buying price, decimal, and then you make it required. Okay, and then you make rules to be done, and then selling price. And then come and say selling price or the worth that you have it. Okay, by default 0, and then also make it required. So original quantity, it's going to be decimal. Original quantity, bracket, in units of a category. By the way, on the category name, we may need also to specify the units. Okay, here. Then current quantity. Should we allow someone to edit the current quantity? No, let's not allow them. The system should be able to capture the current quantity. All right, so here in Copilot, here in so let's go ahead and refresh. Everything is all right. Okay, everything is all right. Now let's go ahead and refresh. Let's go ahead and what was I going to do? Okay, I was saying that here, when you're sending back the products, the category name, it is better we also put the units that we are using to measure here. So the units, okay, so let's go ahead and attach the units on subcategories. So you come to API. So here, when you're sending back, so here on name text, and then you put here bracket, put here measuring unit. Okay, so this one should be able to attach a measuring unit. Let's see if it has come. You see. All right, so let's see the words that we use it. Measuring, I think that's what we used. Measuring unit, I think that's okay now. Which word did we use? Subcategory, measuring unit. Let's go ahead and find out. Which word did we use? It's measurement unit. Why did I get this word? Measurement unit. Okay, so we come to our API and put here measurement unit. All right. So if you come here and try to search, you'll see the measuring units. So this person will know that right now they're dealing with what? With kilograms is what we are meaning here. Okay. So I think that's it. I think that is enough for us to create a what? To create a product. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a product now. Okay, let's go ahead and create a category. All right, so I come here to new, and then I can use some fake filler and then select a category here. Okay, and then say maybe we are using manual, and then maybe put some SKU, and then go ahead and do what? And upload. So there is some issue. They say category doesn't have different value. Okay, so that's where the whole business starts from. Okay, so category does not have a default value. So we are going to do what? We are going to create a hook, okay, that is going to set few things that are automatic or that must be automatic. Okay, for example, category value. Here we selected only the what? So we're going to create a what? A category value. I mean a hook that is going to be setting these things. For example, this one is subcategory. So the category need also to be what? To be set. Remember we had a main category there. So this is going to be like a very important part, okay? Because it is a must, okay? Now, I'm going to go to subcategory, and then we create a preparation method that will be preparing something before it is saved. Okay, so we're going to create here our boot. Okay, so we come here to our boots. All right, so here in this boot, so this is boot. Let me first delete this. So we're having here the creating. So we're going to sort of have the updating. So before something is created, something is updated, we have to set, for example, things like what? The category ID. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to design a method that is going to be responsible to do those things. Otherwise, if we do it twice here and here, then it is going to waste our time, or it's going to make it even inaccurate in a way that you may need to change one place, and then you end up doing what? Changing something that you do not want to. Okay, and then you end up having inaccurate data. So we're going to create a static function here. Okay, static public function that are going to call prepare, maybe prepare data. So it's going to be receiving the model, and then it will be returning, okay, returning that model, something like that. Okay, so what you're going to be doing here, so on creating, you're going to be calling this function to prepare data. So you just simply say our model is going to be self, and then you say prepare data. So self, it will call this one here. Okay, and remember this is just prepare data, it is outside this. Okay, and also here we also call it self prepare, so it will be preparing things before they are what, they are saved. So I can say return return model, and also come here and say return model. So this function will be called, this function prepare, it will be called before something is saved, either on creating or on updating. Okay, now let's begin with the first thing. For example, the stock category, it is not set here. Okay, so when I'm writing like this, it is, we are setting the subcategory, not stock main category. So what we're going to do, we're going to write here the logic that is going to get the main category, the subcategory, and then set the what, the main category, the main category before it is set. So you can just say maybe subcategory equals to, okay, equals to what, equals to stock subcategory, and then we say find. Okay, so we search the subcategory. So here the subcategory, it is using which ID, which name, it is called subcategory ID, stock subcategory ID. So we search, so all the data will be sent through this model before. Okay, it will be sent through that model. So I check if this subcategory is not found, then I'll know that maybe something is not right. Okay, so if I say if this subcategory is equal to null, I throw an error. Let me throw an error and say subcategory not found. Throw an error and say invalid stock subcategory. So if it is found, what does it mean? It means that now we now know the stock category. Okay, so I can now say model, and then you say stock category equals to stock category ID equals to the subcategory. Now the subcategory, it has a what? A stock category ID, because each subcategory has a stock category ID. So by doing like this, we shall have done what? We shall have created the category, and then return. Okay, so by doing like this, it will be able to update the category before everything is done. What is it will make sure that everything is updated in this way. I hope you get it. So if I come here and I try to upload again, okay, what are they saying? Field stock category is not found. Okay, let's try to let's try to submit again. Okay, where are we doing this from? Oh my god, we are doing it in the wrong thing. This whole thing, we are doing it in the wrong thing. It's supposed to be in a product item. Let me remove this. I'll just cut this. All right, yeah, okay, then let's go to the stock item. I've just cut what we are doing in the wrong place. I'm going to come and put here in a stock item here. So it's a stock item. I hope you can see it now. It has a boot. So before it saves something, it first calls this prepare method, and this prepare method, it's going to get the subcategory. If it is found, it updates the what, the subcategory, and make sure the subcategory is correct. So there now, if we put here and try to submit, okay, at least we can see the error has changed. Financial year. Okay, remember we did not set the financial year. Okay, so here let's also set the financial year. So how do you get the financial year? If we begin by getting the person who is uploading this product. Okay, so how do you get the person who is uploading this product? We can say user equals to user, and then say model created by ID. If you still remember, that's how we named the person who is creating this product, created by ID. So I check if this person is not found, I return null. Let me throw an error and say invalid user or person not found. Okay, if the person is found, I'm going to go ahead and get that person's company active what? Active financial year. Okay, so you just simply say financial period equals to utils.get financial period, and then I pass this person's what? This person's company ID. Okay, remember every person has their company ID. So I check if the financial year they don't have active financial year. I return, I say okay, if active financial was not found. So this validation will help us even to work in the mobile application, since they are doing it is being created in a centralized place. Then if a financial is found, and then I get the model, and I say financial period ID equals to the financial period dot ID. So I'll be able to do what? To do that. So that is okay now. I hope you've seen how I've done that. So let's go ahead and try to update again. Upload. Invalid user. So the user is not found. Okay, so let's see how we named the user. Stock item controller. It is called created by ID. Okay, default is supposed to be ID, not my god, sorry. Okay, created by ID. If it is created by ID, and then you say default. Okay, let's remove this and put outside. I think that's okay. Okay, so say default is going to be the user who is logged in, and then ID. So this is the real name, the real ID. Then you come here and say okay, user.find if equals to null, not it. I've just made a mistake. I was just putting the opposite. If it is equal to null, then I say invalid user, something like that. I had just done a mistake by my own self. Okay, so right, so everything now should be fine. Let's try to upload now. Everything is beautiful. You can see the record has been created. You can see the record is here. Now there are more things that you're going to do. There are more things that you are going to do. There are more things that you're going to do. There are more things that you're going to do when you're doing what? When okay, there are more things that you're going to do here. It's not just we are done. You're not done. Okay, so let's come to edit. So when you click on edit, there are more things that I'm going to show you that you still have to do here. Okay, so when you click on edit, you can see the category is not showing. I mean, is not showing there by default. So you have to display it. Okay, so to display it, when you're editing, you come back to stock controller. So on top of Ajax, you add another thing called option. So in this option, you get that stock item. Okay, you get that stock. So in this option, just say option.function. You say function, and then you say ID. Then you say the stock category. Okay, let me just say stock categories, not supposed to be stock item. Okay, I say cut. I can say sub category equals to stock sub category, and then I say find. So if it is not null, else I return nothing. So if it is not null, I go ahead and return an array. Okay, this is an array. Okay, an array of the stock item with its name and the measuring unit. Okay, you see, otherwise if it is null, I return this one. So you can pause the video and you see this, how I've done this one. Okay, so this is the only way how you can be able to do what, to display something or resume something, you see, when you're editing. So you see it is there. Okay, now You see now here, update SKU, we can say maybe by default should be off, no. So update SKU should always be no by default. Okay, let's make it by default be no, or we can say maybe when you're creating update SKU, it is no when you're creating. Okay, and also maybe by default you can also make it no here. So you add this one, you hide it and then say it is no by default. All right, so let's go ahead and refresh now. So it should always be no if you not set it. So I can try to change something without any error. Everything is okay. Now there are things that we are going to do still before we even proceed. The first thing that we had to do, let me first show you the current quantity. You can see the current quantity, original the current quantity when you come here at the table, it is 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do to avoid me filling this and again and again and again, I'm going to get this record and then try to be updating it as I check if the hooks are being called. Oh, our time is up. I think you're going to start from there in the next lecture, because now we're going to work with the quantities. When I upload here, it should also update here the stock quantities here. Remember, in this category I should be able to know, okay, I have this amount of money, so we have to update this side as well, so that someone can be able to know, okay, I've invested this amount in this particular amount. All those things I'm going to do what to work on them. So it's not just that we create that and then it is done. We have to put a lot of logic in the hook, but at this moment you can see it has been created at least. Okay, so let's begin from there. In the next lecture we have to work with also the what we have to work with SKU generation. We have to work with barcode generation, creation of the barcode. All those things you have to do what to create them. So here we are not really done, because this is the heart of the whole what of the whole system. So let's start from there. On Monday, I recommend you to practice tomorrow and make sure that at least you catch me, so we move together. So on Monday we shall meet and then proceed from where we have stopped today. So goodbye and see you, unless there's a question. Is there any question, guys? I hope there is no. All right, guys, see you on Monday. I'll share the video links after uploading.